Good day, everyone. I am Owen Tearsby Brevanaria with Mary Ashley Barce and Edlin Cantur to discuss the Chapter 9 entitled Conflict Management Skills. So, conflict arises even in the most successful and employee centered businesses. Learning how to handle these conflicts is important not only for those in leadership roles but also for all employees. Provide relevant information from your company's policies, and offer scenarios with solutions to illustrate how different types of conflicts can be handled. At the end of this chapter, students should be able to first know the difference between conflict and conflict management skills, core skills and characteristics that need to adopt to effectively manage workplace conflicts, define conflict resolution skills, and enumerate skills to resolve debates. So, what is conflict? Conflict is a serious disagreement or argument, typically a protracted one. It is a fight, battle, or struggle, especially a prolonged struggle, strife, controversy, quarrel, and conflicts between parties. So, what is conflict management skills? It is a process of limiting the negative aspects of conflict while increasing the positive aspects of conflict. So, below are some of the core skills and characteristics that you'll need to adopt if you want to effectively manage workplace conflicts. So, number one is the emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence has been defined by Peter Salovey and John Mayer in 1990 as the ability to monitor one's own and other people's emotion, to discriminate between different emotions and label them appropriately, and to use emotional information to guide thinking and behavior. Another definition is it is the capability of an individual to realize their own emotions and those of others, discern between different feelings and label them appropriately, use emotional information to guide thinking and behaviors, and manage or adjust emotions to adapt to the environment or achieve one's goal. Number two is patience. Giving yourself and others a little time during the process can greatly enhance the possibility of a successful resolution. Understand all the issues. Next is impartiality. Impartiality means the equal treatment of all rivals or disputants' fairness. So, impartiality is characterized by a fact that the mediator has no power to settle the dispute or to make a decision with respect to the parties. These decisions are dependent on the party and only are not taken away at any stage of the mediation. Number four is the active listening. Active listening techniques can help you truly understand what people are saying in conversation or any meetings. In order to understand what people are saying, always build trust and establish good rapport as specific questions, demonstrate concerns, and last, use brief verbal affirmations like I see. So, alam naman po natin yung pinagkaiba ng listening sa hearing. So, listening means hearing with understanding, while hearing is just pakikinig. So, next, number five is positivity. Being positive with your conflict management actions is a great way to keep the conversation moving forward. Conflicts are full of roadblocks that you'll need to be willing to overcome them if you want to come to a resolution. So, sabi nga, always be positive. Lastly, number six is open communication. Communication has a big role to play in a conflict management. Open communication allows the employees to be more engaged and understand what they do matters in the success of their business, and effective communication will lead everyone to be on the same page, moving in the same direction towards the same goal. Make sure that employees understand the big picture and part they play in the success of the organization. It will help them to understand why decisions are made and how those decisions impact them specifically and the company as a whole. So, sabi nga nila, oh, communication is the key. Always communicate with your workmates so that conflicts will be lessened. So, to discuss the conflict resolution skills is Miss Mary Ashley Barce.
What are conflict resolution skills? Conflict resolution is the process in which two or more parties work towards a solution to a problem or dispute. So, yung conflict resolution po, ginagamit po ito sa pag-address ng isang disagreements or any conflicts between two or more parties. The goal is to restore in a way na masasatisfy yung mga involved or at least po ma-minimize yung conflict and to restore na din yung positive relations between the parties. The issue negatively affect one party or multiple and has escalated to point where it needs to be addressed. At this stage, it requires na po ng attention and action para hindi na din lumala yung conflict and to prevent further negative impact so they can immediately find a solution. Participants are then required to work together to produce a common agreement that resolve the issue. This means that yung mga tao na involved in the conflict, they need to collaborate and engage in communicating para na din na ma-resolve ng maayos at patas yung problema. So, let's come now to conflict resolutions. Number 1, don't jump to the defense. In conflict resolution, it is important to know the other's point of view in order to hear the both side of two parties involved in argument or conflicts and to connect the issues and situation that happen in the workplace. In that way, you can determine the possible root cause of the problem or issues. It's very important po to understand each side kasi paano magiging fair if we only listen to one side. By understanding both sides, we can have a deeper understanding where the conflict start so that we can find a more effective and lasting resolution that addresses the true source of the conflict. Let the persons explain themselves and actively listen, respond, and reflect on what's being said. It's important to allow each person to fully explain their perspective without interruptions as this creates an opportunity for them to feel heard and understand. Next is retain the information, see things from someone else's point of view. By understanding the other person's thought, feelings, and experiences, we can have a better understanding about how they see or feel on their side, and it reduces misunderstanding. Number 2, don't point fingers. Every time you point a finger in scorn, there are 3 remaining fingers pointing right back at you. If you feel the need to make someone feel less assured of themselves or have to call another person out, you may gain a false sense of superiority. So, engaging in criticism or judgment of others can reflect poorly on you, and it often reveals more about your own flaws and insecurities. Don't put blame on others or create a space in which someone feels unsafe to voice their opinion. Blaming others for problems or mistake only deflects responsibility and mas nagiging toxic yung atmosphere or yung environment sa workplace. And it can also make someone feel unsafe to express yung mga opinions, mga perspective, and ideas. In a way, blaming is form of social comparison that is status seeking. If you blame someone, it puts you in the superior seat, making you feel more important and a good person as opposed to their bad. Of course, some people use blaming to make themselves a victim. So, by blaming a person, parang nag-status seeking na sila para makaangat and sometimes to avoid embarrassment or accountability of a problem para hindi masira yung image nila sa ibang tao. Number 3, maintain a calm tone. Maintaining a calm tone shows willingness to compromise or collaborate. So, it signals openness and respect for others' perspective. Nag-create din ito ng trust and it makes easier for both parties to engage and communicate to one another. Next, don't talk behind people's back. Ito, napakauso po nito ngayon sa lahat ng edad, hindi lamang sa mga bata pati na din sa mga matatanda. Gossiping or speaking negatively about behind someone's back can damage trust, harm relationships, and create misunderstandings. Instead, address the issue directly with respect to promote healthier interactions. Next, don't take anything personally. It means understanding that other people's actions, words, or opinions are often a reflection of their own experiences. This mindset helps you respond with clarity, focusing on your own goals instead of being afraid by others' judgment. Number 4, show willingness to compromise or collaborate. Collaboration and compromise can be used to resolve conflicts by working towards mutual understanding and brainstorming. So, it focuses in achieving mutual understanding and finding solutions that satisfy all parties involved. These approaches foster cooperation and building a trust, creating outcomes that are fair and sustainable. Number 5, don't take anything personally. Don't take things personally means you should not let others people's comments, actions, attitudes, opinions, or choices affect how you feel about yourself or your life, even if they are a direct and personal attack. So, katulad na din po dun sa number 3, parehas lang naman din po sila. Don't take anything personally. You should try to understand because people have different perspective. And lastly, number 6, don't talk behind people's back. According to Richard Carrison 2017, highlighted in his positive living relationship at work, when you talk behind someone's back, it says far less about the person you're discussing than it does about our own character, about your need to be critical and your need to talk behind others people's back. So, same din po ito dun sa number 3. Don't talk behind people's back kasi hindi mo alam sa paninira mo sa ibang tao, may kapalit din yun na hindi ikakaganda sa buhay mo. So, that's all po. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Edlin Cantor and this is the continuation of conflict resolution. Number 7, pay close attention to nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication and body language express a great deal. Good nonverbal skills shows that you are listening, while poor nonverbal skills can damage the rapport and negate what you say. When we say nonverbal communication, some examples include the head movements, hand gestures, body posture, eyes gaze, and arm positions, which makes a big impact in terms of communicating. It helps us to convey emotions and intentions that may not be adequately expressed through words alone. For example, a person shaking their head can convey disapproval, while someone nodding their head can convey understanding. We have the saying that action speaks louder than voice. This means that it's not the words that you use but your nonverbal cues or body language that speak the loudest. They can put people at ease, build trust, and draw others towards you. Or they can offend, confuse, and undermine what you're trying to convey. To improve your listening with nonverbal skills, here are some tips. Number 1, pay close attention to what the person says. Listening attentively is making a conscious effort to hear what the speaker is saying, and not just the words. Understand what the speaker is communicating and let the speaker know that you understand what they are trying to say. Maintain comfortable eye contact. This means to build a good rapport between the speaker and the listener. A present gaze demonstrates attention, while an avoidant gaze expresses anxiety. That's why it is also important to be aware of your eye contact. Number 3, maintain an open body position. Don't cross your arms over your body as this may appear defensive. Arms down to the side or arranged in an open way can indicate that someone feels positive. while crossed or closed arms might indicate a negative emotion. Number 4, it's best to sit alongside and angled toward the person rather than directly opposite to him or her. This allows the conversation to feel friendly and non-confrontational. They might feel like they're being interviewed. Next is number 8. Prioritize resolving the conflict over being right. According to Gene Siegel, Lawrence Robinson, and Melinda Smith, we need to make conflict resolution priority rather than the winning or being right, and always maintain the strengthening relationship rather than winning the argument. Be respectful of the other person and their viewpoint. We should always remember that dealing with conflicts is not about being the right or to win the argument. Hindi siya about sa pagpanig mo sa isa or pagiging unfair. Kailangan mo laging isaalang-alang yung relationship ng bawat isa. Basically, we need to think of the significance of the relationship rather than being the best or the winner, because both of you are not the real enemies. The real battle is between the both parties against the problem itself. It is better to build or work on your relationships in the workplace rather than having conflicts. This will help to create a good foundation of trust, mutual respect, and collaboration. We can transform conflicts from being destructive forces into opportunities for growing and learning, and creating healthier and more fulfilling relationships. Number 9. Use humor when appropriate. Humor builds a learning relationship through the joyful confluence of head and heart. We've all heard that laughter is the best medicine, and it's true. Humor is a powerful tool to unite parties in conflict. Do this by poking fun at the problem, not the person. Humor is a critical thinking skill that helps to resolve conflict in unexpected ways. As I've said earlier, the real enemy is the problem itself. If you cannot solve it immediately, then just make fun of it. Sabi nga sa kanta, tawanan mo ang iyong problema. So you don't need to be serious all the time in terms of problems. Because sometimes may mga pangyayari na di natin inaasahan, which is minsan ito pa yung nagiging dahilan to resolve the problem. But we should also be careful of using our humor, because it might cause a bigger problem if we misuse our humor, especially if it hurt the feelings of the other party. Number 10 is focus on the conflict at hand and not past ones. Gene Siegel, Lawrence Robinson, and Melinda Smith mentioned in their study, always focus on the present. If you're holding onto grudges based on past conflicts, your ability to see the reality of the current situation will be impaired. Rather than looking to the past and aligning blame, focus on what you can do in the here and now to solve the problem. We always hear the term past is past. In conflict resolution, we should always take note of this. The present problem is the one that needs a solution. We should not always bring back the past issues, especially if it is already resolved. We should also stop the attitude of blaming someone when the problem arises. Kasi yung problems, normal na yan sa everyday life natin. Sa isang organization, kapag may mga problema, iniisip natin paano masusolusyonan. Hindi para isipin pa kung sino ang dapat sisihin, kasi wala naman itong may tutulong. The goal is solve the problem, not to find someone to blame. Number 11, know when to apologize and forgive. Forgiveness is the best form of love. It takes a strong person to say sorry and even a stronger person to forgive. When apologizing, it's important to focus on what you did, not on the other person's reaction. Apologizing means that a person is aware of his mistakes and willing to take responsibility for its consequences, while forgiveness is vital in terms of repairing the relationship. Forgive anyone who has caused you pain or harm. Keep in mind that forgiving is not forgetting. It is remembering without anger. It frees up your spirit. Forgiveness opens up a pathway to a new place of peace where you can persist despite what has happened to you. Both apologies and forgiveness are vital, and we should always keep in mind on how to use it properly. The correct use of apology and forgiveness involves acknowledging what you did, taking responsibility, and expressing regret. A thoughtful apology can help mend relationships and reduce conflict, while forgiveness is the other person's part, and it's not your job to make people forgive you. However, you can genuinely request forgiveness and express your intention to change. And last, number 12, remember the importance of relationship. Relationships are considered important for many reasons, including providing a sense of belonging and security, helping to build self-esteem, providing emotional support, being sources of love and affection, and encouraging us to learn more about ourselves and others. Letter A, foster effective communication. Relationship can develop effective communication of a person by building companionship, sharing experiences, interests, and concerns with one another, and showing affection and appreciation. A healthy relationship between colleagues can help each employee to have a good workplace that may help them. Letter B, develop trust with your colleagues. Trust is the basic foundation of the relationship. Having trust in your colleagues means less conflict and mas madali ma-resolve if meron man. Letter C, show appreciation and respect for others. Respect is vital for everyone. Showing respect is a great beginning for understanding the perspective of others and appreciating their opinions. Letter D, speak well of your team members. Speak on your team members with good manners. It is important na ipakita natin and iparamdam yung respect natin in each of everyone and that we give value to their positions and their existence. Letter E, take responsibility. Be responsible for your actions and avoid blaming others. Taking responsibility for consequences, mas naipapakita natin dito na aware tayo sa mga actions na ginagawa natin.
That ends our discussion about the Chapter 9 Conflict Management Skills. Thank you for listening.